Hi guys, and welcome back to The Fold. My name is Ange and I'm going to be taking you through a gorgeous heavy spring flow today. You'll just need yourselves and your ball a little bit later, but other than that, no equipment. We're just going to start lying down on our beds. I like to start all of my classes with a little bit of lateral breathing so we can kind of come into the space, get ready for the next really exciting, spicy workout. So we're going to start with one red, one green, and one yellow spring. When you've preset your springs, just lying back onto your beds, bringing your shoulders into your shoulder blocks, and just bringing your hands to your rib cage with your fingertips facing in towards each other so we can start to work into our lateral breathing. When you're there, just take a moment of stillness to find your center, to arrive into the space. And starting to work through that breath, taking your inhale through the nose, filling up your rib cage with air, just letting your breath expand out into your hands. And as you exhale, you're slowly releasing your breath through pursed lips, like you're blowing out a birthday candle. Nice work, guys. Just starting to notice that soft imprint of your spine to your bed as you release that breath. And at the same time as we're drawing that breath, really lengthening it all the way down to your pelvis, I want you to think about pulling your ribs down to your pelvis at the same time as you release that breath. In this breath work alone, we're starting to wake up and activate that core. And I just want you to keep that sensation in your mind of those ribs pulling down towards your pelvis and your navel drawing down towards your bed when we're talking about core engagement as we move through the rest of the class. Just taking a couple last deep breaths here, guys, in through the nose. And let it all go. Just taking this last deep breath to let go of any tension that you've been holding in your body, maybe any stress that you've been holding onto in your mind. Really nice work, guys. Okay, we're going to get into the rest of our movement, starting off with our spinal articulation glute bridges today to start to mobilize our spines and warm up the hamstrings and the glutes. Going to connect to the bony parts of your heels to your foot bar, about hip distance apart. Just checking in that your knees are in parallel to your toes, placing your palms firmly down on that carriage and really pressing the backs of your arms into your carriage. So your arms and then your core can help support you in these glute bridges. Now I will say before we get into it, we are on a slightly lighter spring. So your hamstrings and your glutes are going to have to work that little bit harder to keep the carriage drawn in the whole time. Inhale to prepare, tilting your pelvis towards the face. As you exhale, you're flattening your spine into your bed. Lift and tuck your tailbone, peeling vertebrae by vertebrae all the way up and off your bed. Good, hold it at the top, take an inhale, take a little pause as your hips lift in line with your knees and your shoulders. As you exhale, slowly melting all the way back down, vertebrae by vertebrae, until that tailbone connects back to your bed. And again, tilting the pelvis, flattening the spine before you lift and tuck your tailbone. Now, in these first few glute bridges, in this first movement of your class, really just taking it nice and slow with control, trying to find that space and length through each vertebrae to really properly mobilize the spine before the rest of our movement today. Nice work, guys. Really articulating through each section of the spine. This should feel quite nice. At the same time, I want you to think about squeezing your hip bones towards your heels to keep that carriage squeezed in. You're going to be able to feel that engagement in your hamstrings and your glutes that little bit more if you're really intentional about squeezing those hips towards your heels. We're gonna start to add on a hamstring extension, alternating with one of those glute bridges now, guys. Coming all the way to the top of your glute bridge. Inhale to slide your legs away. Exhale, drive your hips all the way to the sky, park your carriage in, and melt all the way down. Beautiful, so it's one glute bridge, keeping your hips lifted so we've got tension through your hamstrings. Exhale to drive your hips back up and melt all the way back down. Beautiful, we're here for a few more. Because naturally your hips might drop a smidge as you extend the legs out, although we're really trying to keep that tension through the hamstrings. As you draw yourselves back in, I want you to think about driving your hips to the sky and using your breath on that part of the exercise. That exhale, that breath is going to help you as your muscles contract. Beautiful, guys. This is your last one here. We're going to squeeze it all the way in. Find your glute bridge, lifting your hips in line with the knees and the shoulders, squeezing your glutes, and you're probably going to get sick of me saying this, but your ribs are pulling down, core is switched on. Taking some hip pulses here to finish. Inhale, drop your hips 1 inch. Exhale, squeeze your glutes and lift your hips. Teeny tiny pulses in that top range. If you'd like to take some of the support out of your arms, if you can keep that carriage squeezed in, we're here for 6 more seconds. Beautiful, last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Melting all the way back down. Really nice, guys. Hug your knees into your chest. Just enjoy that nice little back massage, rocking side to side and backwards and forwards. And from here, we're gonna take a quick spring change to warm up that core. Just take off your yellow, so you're on 1 red and 1 green spring. And then we're gonna lie all the way back down just for some hands in straps. Taking those short loops in the palms of your hands, you're gonna bring your hands directly above your shoulders. When you've got tension on those ropes, floating your legs into tabletop. Knees are over your hips and your feet are in line with your knees. Even without adding anything on from here, I'm feeling my core switch on. Think about pulling your ribs down and not letting your knees creep in too far. We're gonna lose the connection into that core if your knees start to creep in. Keep them directly stacked over your hips. From here, team, we're gonna find a dead bug variation. As you bring your right hand out to the side, keeping tension through that strap, extend your opposite left leg long over your foot bar. Beautiful, big exhale, draw everything back together in the center. Inhale, drop your left hand out to the side, right leg goes long. Beautiful. So we're really challenging those deeper core muscles, those stabilizing muscles, to draw everything back to the center. Nice work, guys. We're here for 8 more seconds. We're going to finish off this core warm-up with a variation of our ab prep and our plow. It's going to be a little bit more obliques focus. In 4 seconds, reset those hands over your shoulders, stack the knees over the hips. In 3, 2, and 1. Reset those hands over your shoulders, team. From here, as you draw your palms down to tap the carriage, nod your chin in towards your chest, lift your heads, necks, and shoulders. Beautiful. Inhale, relax your head back down. Reach your hands back over your shoulders. And again, ribs pull down. Really think about keeping that nod of your chin to your chest. So you're lifting your chest to the front of the room towards your foot bar rather than pulling into your neck. We're going to change this up into a little bit more obliques focus for this final part here, guys. As you exhale, as you draw your palms down, we're going to be framing one leg that stays in tabletop as the other one lengthens. As you exhale, right leg goes long, framing your left thigh. You're going to feel this a little bit more in your obliques. Inhale, relax back down. Take it over to the other side. Left leg goes long, framing that right thigh. Really just checking into those hands at either side of your leg rather than what we started with that first layer in our plow. In 4 seconds, guys, you're gonna meet it on whichever side you're on. We're gonna be pulsing through the chest to finish. In 2 and 1. Hold it up. Keep your arms long, reaching your fingertips towards the foot bar. Keep that knot of your chin to your chest. We pulse for 5, 4. Reset in 3, 2, and 1. Reset in the center. We take it over to the other side. Coming all the way up, pulse up and out of your chest. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, amazing work, guys. Placing your long loops back on your shoulder blocks, and we are ready to get into the rest of it. Hopefully, everyone is feeling a little bit warmer. We're gonna grab our box, placing it on the right side of your bed. Nice and tight into your rails, right behind that foot bar notch, just like so. You're gonna change your spring to 1 red spring. So we're on 1 heavy spring to work through this flow. Getting into a curtsy lunge series. So you're gonna meet me with your feet in a Pilates V position in the top left corner of your box. Bring your hands to connect to your foot bar, just lightly resting on your fingertips. We wanna make sure we're not rounding the shoulders down and over and collapsing that weight forwards. So they're just there as a little bit of support. Sweeping your outside right foot back and around. Your right heel is lifted up against those shoulder blocks. Now here you can see my left knee is pressing quite forward over my foot. I want you to shift your weight back into your left heel, loading up through your left outer glutes. From here, we're gonna start to find our curtsy lunge. Exhale to extend your right leg long. A little bit of gusto because we're on that heavy spring. Just keeping those fingertips rested, shoulders are relaxed, and that chest is nice and proud. Inhale to bend that leg back in. Beautiful, and again, driving back through that heel. Amazing. The whole time we're focusing on keeping the weight shifted back in your left heel as you bend and extend through that right leg. Now, unfortunately, we're gonna be adding on a lot of layers. So the next time you hold that right leg out, bring your left inside fingertips to your temples. Right hand stays on that foot bar. You're gonna find your thoracic rotation, sliding that carriage back, getting a little bit deeper into that lunge. Eye gaze is coming towards your left elbow. From here, twist back through the center, connect both fingertips back to your foot bar, and bend that back leg in. And again, we extend that right leg out, find that thoracic region, twist, come back to the center, and bend the back leg in. You should really feel this firing up through your left side glutes. So I want you to check in throughout, have regular check-ins, that left knee isn't creeping too far forwards. You're actively grounding down into that left heel to stay active through your glutes on the left side. Team, you're here for 8 more seconds before we're gonna hold that thoracic twist and we're gonna hold that curtsy lunge back. In 3, hold your twist. In 2, and 1. Right fingertips stay on that foot bar, sit back into that lunge, checking your left knees over that heel. We're gonna pulse in that twist as you pulse in that lunge. You're here for 8 seconds. Woo, getting a little bit deeper in that left leg, a little bit deeper in that twist for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Have a little reset there, guys. Ooh, have a shake out through your left heel. And we are gonna build onto that. So once you've had your little shake out, this time we're still gonna find that Pilates V. Again, I just want you to make sure that your left foot is turned out to about a 10 o'clock position. You don't have to make it that accurate, but just so you've got that slight 45-degree turn out. Bring your fingertips back to your foot bar and sweep your right foot back and around. This time, we're gonna shift the weight back into that left heel. Disconnect both of your fingertips to your temples, elbows are wide. Shift and hover your spine and chest forwards, and you're hinging your hips back towards the back of your machine. Really sitting low in both legs. Both legs are bent and that carriage is drawn in. From here, we're working into our scooters. Exhale to extend that right leg long. Draw that right leg back in. Amazing, guys. Now, if you would like to add on, you can find an overhead arm sweep as you drive back through that right leg. Can we check in as well? We're getting that full extension through your right leg every time. Actively driving back into that right heel. Amazing, guys. We're going to start to alternate with a single leg plank. The next time you extend your right leg out, connect your hands to your foot bar about shoulder distance apart. You're shifting your shoulders forwards over your wrists. Switching on your core, point your left toes and hover your left leg. You're going to take a twist of that left knee to your outside right elbow. Come back through the center, lift up and out of your palms. Place that left foot back down. Sit back into your scooter. You're going to bend and extend that back leg, alternating with that single leg plank. Lift and hover your left leg. One twist to the outside right knee. Twist back to the center. Place that left foot back down and slide back so you've got that alignment again for your scooter. Doing really well, guys. We're not here for too much longer. To finish off, we're going to be working through that single leg plank and those twists. And then a pulse and a lunge. In 5, we're going to hold that plank, just working through your twists. In 3, 2, and 1. Hold your plank, just your twists. Twist out to that right elbow. Really think about rounding through your spine, pulling your shoulder blades apart as you come back to the center. In 3 seconds, you're placing that left foot down. In 2, and 1. Place that left foot down. Everybody's holding that right carriage leg out in space. For the final time, you're going to pulse through that left leg. Advancement, reach your arms overhead, helping you get a little bit deeper in that hip hinge. Keep your core switched on, but think about hovering your chest over your left knee. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh me, oh my. That's done for that side. Have a little shakeout, guys. Really amazing work. We are gonna get straight into a heavy squat. So continuing with this heavy spring flow, just moving your foot bar down so it's out of the way. We're gonna be facing towards, I don't know what you're facing towards, to be honest, actually. I'm just gonna have my left foot on the platform, similar because my left foot was the one loaded up during that curtsy lunge. So whichever leg was on your box during your curtsy lunge is the foot that's going to be on your platform, if that makes sense. So left foot is on my platform. I've got my right foot to the very inside edge of my carriage. From here, you're going to slide your carriage out. So those feet are just wider than shoulder distance apart, to the point where you're starting to feel your abductors, your outer thighs warm up. So the point of this heavy squat is to maintain the distance between the carriage and the platform the whole time. Inhale to brace your core, sit back to your heels, knees are driving out towards your third toes. As you exhale, drive up through your heels, squeeze your glutes, keep that carriage still. Beautiful. If you'd like to add on straight away, you can find your overhead arm sweep. Just checking in that those knees aren't rolling in. We're staying fired up and engaged through those abductors the whole time. I want you to make sure that the weight is centered through both legs as you sit back. Imagine there's a chair behind your bed. You're sitting back into that chair every time rather than collapsing your weight forwards. So a few things to check in that we've got that weight shifted back into your heels. In the bottom part of that squat, I want you to feel as if you could lift and wiggle those toes. That's how much you're sitting back into your heels to load up those hamstrings and your glutes. So while we've got that hinge of your chest forwards ever so slightly, I want you to check that your core is switched on. Obviously, keep going. Obviously, if you're in a squat and you're losing that connection to your core, naturally you're going to shift and collapse your weight forwards. So to keep that weight shifted back, really think about switching your core on, lifting your belly button away from your thighs. We're gonna start to add on here, guys. The next time you come down into your heavy squat, shifting your weight over into your left side glutes, we're keeping the left hip stacked over the knee and the ankle. Finding your heavy skater. Extend your right leg long, bend it back in. You're centering your weight even through both legs, drive all the way up. So it's one heavy squat and one skater. Amazing, guys. What I will say though, if it feels a little bit hard to press the carriage away, sometimes I like to bring my foot to the front lip of that carriage for a little bit more support in that skater. So we sit back into that heavy squat, a little bit more support to press that carriage away, coming all the way up. Really checking in every time we take that skater, you're taking that shift over, grounding down into your left pinky toe, so that left hip isn't shifting out with the weight of that carriage. Really want to stay loaded over those left side glutes and hamstrings as we work through that heavy skater. Team, you've got 5 more seconds before we're going to hold it down in that heavy squat. We're shifting the weight over into the left leg and we're just working through those skaters. Beautiful, guys. Last 3, 2, and 1. Shift your weight over. Left hip is stacked over that knee and that ankle. Exhale, extend that right leg long. Draw it back in. Amazing work, guys. You've got 8 seconds here. If you need, you can take that skater a little bit more slow and controlled, just so that left hip isn't drifting out. I'm just placing my left hand here for a little bit of tactile feedback. Option, if you would like to find that overhead arm sweep as you extend your right leg long, bending your elbows into your waistline as that right leg bends back in. 4 seconds, we're gonna bend that right leg in, keep that distance, find your heavy squat hold. In 3, 2, and 1. Keep that distance, find your heavy squat hold. We've got a few layers left, guys. It's an alternating heel raise. Right heel lifts and lowers, left heel lifts and lowers. Beautiful work. Stay low in those hips. Keep that weight shifted back, shoulders down, and relax away from your ears. Whew. In 5 seconds, we're just going to find a little bit of abduction with that right foot. Carriage goes out an inch and in an inch. In 3, 2, 1. Staying low. Carriage goes out and in. Keep your weight centered. Just that right foot is drifting out and in. Team, we're going to finish strong with a squat hold pulse. Last push, I promise. In 4, 3, pause the carriage, hold your squat, pulse it out. Woo! Can you reach your arms overhead? You've got 6 more seconds. Don't quit now. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh my God. Have a shakeout. Step off those beds if you need. Have a sip of water if you need as well. Before we get into that other side, so we can properly forget about it, we're gonna do a little bit of heavy upper body work. So we're going to keep those springs the exact same. Just moving that box a little bit further away from the side of your bed so it's not in your way at all. And we're going to get into a back fly facing the back of the room. So this ball is going to be going below your tailbone just so it can help support your lumbar spine as we're working through this heavy spring upper body work. So just placing your ball there behind your back. Grabbing your short loops, we're going to cross them over in the hands, just so your ropes look like an X in front of you. From here, you're going to find a half roll down position. Nod your chin in towards your chest, scooping through your lower abdomen. When I say half roll down or a C curve, one cue I really find quite helpful for myself is think about connecting your lowest ribs to your hip bones. That's going to help you find that slight rounding and keep shortened and contracted through those abdominals the whole time. Relaxing your shoulders down and away from your ears. Your palms are facing in towards each other. As you exhale, we're going to spread the wings, keeping your hands in line with your shoulders. Bring your hands out to the side. Slowly releasing that tension, reset your hands in front of your shoulders. Really think about staying active through those wrists as well. We want to make sure that we're staying active through those wrists, activating your grip strength. So we're pulling into that upper back rather than hurting those wrists. So staying in that half roll down, grip onto your straps and spread your wings. Now I know this is a heavy spring tension, so if that's a little bit too much, have a go with your long loops. You might find that more comfortable to maintain. I would prefer that your form stays better. We're not pulling into that neck to take those long loops if you need. Amazing work, guys. Now, because we're working into that upper back with this back fly, I really want you to think about every time you reset with your hands in front of your shoulders, taking that active relax of your scapula down and away from your ears before you spread your wings and squeeze your shoulder blades down and together. So we're not pulling into that neck. It's a really fine line between pulling into that neck and working into the upper back with this sort of exercise. So really be quite slow and considerate about it. Now, because we're in this half roll down position, we're in a really lucky position to be able to add on a little bit of extra fun. Your intermediate option, you might want to hold one leg floated in tabletop as you work through one full rep of your back fly. As your hands come back in front of your shoulders, take it over to the other side. Now, option, if you're feeling fancy, keep going there in whichever option you're in. If you're feeling really good, guys, you're going to elevate your legs into tabletop as we work through this back fly. What that's going to do is not only challenge that core that extra little bit, but because your legs are elevated, we don't have the support from the feet. You're going to need to take that upper body work even slower, even more control. So we're getting more time under tension. It's an advancement for that upper body work as well as the core. We've got 6 seconds until our final hold, guys. You're going to hold that back fly out to the side in whichever option you choose. In 3, hold your back fly in 2, and 1. Hold it there. Ooh, if you're feeling really good, maybe you want to extend your legs long. Find the teaser. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing work, guys. Uncross those straps. Before we get into the other side, I've got one last little upper body exercise. It's going to be a heavy bicep curl. So once you've uncrossed your straps, again, take your short loops or your long loops in your hands. Find that half roll down again. Nodding your chin to your chest, scooping through your lower abdomen, rounding through the spine. Relax your shoulders down and away from your ears, keeping your elbows as lifted as you can in line with your shoulders. As you exhale, draw your palms towards your forehead. Inhale, extend your elbows, let your arms go long. Really nice work, guys. I know it's easier said than done. Of course it is. Everything is that I'm saying. But as much as you can, try to keep those elbows in line with your shoulders. That's good. That is what is going to isolate your biceps in this exercise. Now, as we start to fatigue, naturally your shoulders are going to want to creep up towards your ears. So really think about keeping them down and relaxed as you work through that bicep curl. It's that same advancement, guys, as the other side. You have the option to elevate one or both legs into tabletop as you work through. Again, it means that you're going to be having to take that upper body work even slower with more control. You've got 6 seconds. We're going to hold that bicep curl. Arms are in 90 degrees. We're pulsing the fingertips to the sky. In 3, 2, and 1. Arms are in 90 degrees. Pulse your fingertips. It's small, it's controlled. Up an inch and down an inch. You have 8. Breathe through it, guys. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing. Restack your spine and place those long loops back on your shoulder blocks. Amazing, amazing work, guys. Gosh, this really is a heavy spring flow today. We're gonna move that foot bar back up now, getting into the other side with our curtsy lunges. So grab your box, moving it over to the other side. Again, that box is just behind your foot bar notch, and you're gonna meet me standing in the top right corner of your box. First, we find that Pilates V, heels together, toes out wide. Bring your fingertips down to your foot bar, just making sure that that chest is nice and proud, shoulders are relaxed. Sweep that left foot back and around. Now, we're gonna shift that weight back over your right heel. To check you're in the right position, you should be able to lift and hover your hands without that support from the foot bar. Starting to extend that left leg long, exhale. Beautiful, extend that left leg long and out. Bend that back leg in. We're staying low in those hips, and we're staying low in that right leg. I've got that turn out of my right foot to about a 2 o'clock position on this side. And because we're on that heavy spring, we want to get the most out of every single rep here. So as you're bending your back leg back in, think about fighting that spring tension so we're getting the most out of each movement. We're going to start to add on that thoracic twist team. The next time you extend your left leg long, inside right fingertips are coming to your temples, elbows out nice and wide. I want you to think about twisting through that thoracic region, opening up through your chest, eye gaze comes back to your right elbow. Getting a little bit deeper in that lunge. Twist back to the center, connect both fingertips back to your foot bar, and bend your back leg in. Really nice work, guys. Really thinking about that right elbow shining up towards the sky, so we're open through that chest, and you're getting that full twist through your thoracic region. It's going to allow you to drop a little bit deeper in that lunge as well. You've got 5 seconds, team. We're going to hold it back in that lunge. We've got those twists and that pulse coming. In 3, 2, and 1. Everybody hold that left leg long and back, hold your twist. As you pulse through your right leg, keeping your back leg completely long, you're deepening that twist through your thoracic region. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw that carriage back in, come to standing and enjoy that little shakeout. Step onto your box, have a little shakeout of that right leg, and we're gonna get into those final layers here, guys. So, taking that turn out again of your feet, heels together, toes out wide, bringing those hands back to your foot bar. We're gonna reset up with that left foot back and around in your shoulder block. Getting nice and low in that right leg. This time your fingertips are to your temples. We're increasing that spice just a little bit without that support from the foot bar. Find a hinge of your hips back, fold your chest and spine forwards. My belly button is actively lifting away from my thigh in that hinge. So it's controlled by those glute maxes and those hamstrings without taking the tension out of your right leg. From here, exhale to extend that carriage out. Find that full extension through your back leg. Inhale, bend and park it back in. Again, guys, you've got that option to add on your arms. Overhead arm sweep. Biceps sweep up next to your ears as you drive back through that left heel. Starting to add on our single leg plank. The next time you slide that carriage out, connecting your hands to your foot bar shoulder distance apart, keep your back leg long in that plank,
Point your right toes, lift and hover your right leg. Take a twist to your outside left elbow, back through the center. We place that right foot back down, shift the weight back over your right heel. Bend and extend that back leg. It's one full scooter before you reset in that single leg plank and that twist to your outside elbow. Really nice work, guys. In this single leg plank, I want you to check in that we're not letting the shoulder blades collapse together in the center. Really think about an angry cat position, keeping that rounding of your spine, drawing that navel up as well. Team, you've got 8 seconds here. We've got our final layers coming up. In 4 seconds, we're gonna find that single leg plank. We're just working through those twists towards the outside left elbow and back through the center. Last one here, guys. Take that last scooter. Staying low in that right leg. Connect your hands back to your foot bar. Shift your shoulders forwards over the wrists. Lift up and out of your palms. Take that twist, back to the center. Inhale the twist. Exhale to lift up that little bit more. Team, in 6 seconds, you're placing that right foot back down on your box. Hold your left back leg long. We pulse it out through that lunge to finish. Last 3. 2, right foot comes down on this next one. Shift your weight back into your right heel. Keep this back leg long. Hinge your hips, hinge your bottom back. From here, we're gonna pulse. You've got 8 seconds until we're out of this curtsy lunge. Not forever, but for the rest of this class. Last 4. Can you get a little bit lower? Can you hover your chest 1 more inch over your right thigh for 3, 2, and 1. Ooh. Come all the way up, guys. Amazing, amazing work. We're doing so well, and I promise you we're really getting into those final bits of class. We're just gonna move that foot bar back down again, setting up for our heavy squat. This time, I'm gonna be facing away from you, but again, because my right foot was on the box, my right foot is gonna be on my platform. Bringing your left foot to the very inside edge of that carriage. When you're nice and balanced, when you're supported, slide the carriage out till your feet are just wider than your shoulders, to the point where you have tension on your outer thighs. Be honest with yourselves, you know where that is. And throughout, if you're letting it creep in, we're gonna be losing some of the tension through those abductors. So really stay not militant with yourselves, but be honest with yourselves throughout it. Take an ever so slight turn out of your toes, just so your knees aren't rolling in towards each other. Inhale to brace your core. Sitting back into your heels, find your squat. Exhale, keep that carriage still, keep that control, drive to the top. Amazing work, guys. In that squat, again, I'm imagining there's a chair behind me, sitting back into that chair. Find that slight incline forwards without letting your shoulders round down and over. You're gonna start to add on that heavy skater here, team. Hold it down, weight is centered, shift your weight over into your right pinky toe, extend your left leg long, draw it back in before you recenter the weight and come to standing. Now again, I'm losing a bit of control in that skater, so I'm gonna bring my left foot to the inside edge of that carriage. As an added bonus, you're gonna get a little bit of extra tension in that skater. Holding it down in your squat, shift your weight over into your right pinky toe, extend your left leg long, recenter the weight, drive up. Amazing work, guys. Not only thinking about grounding into your right pinky toe, think about pressing into your 3 points of contact in that right foot as well. So it's that pinky toe, that big toe, and that heel to keep all of that weight shifted over. Again, like I'm doing here, placing my right hand on my hip, you can use that little bit of tactile feedback to check in that that right hip isn't drifting out with the weight of that carriage as you take your skate up. Again, guys, if you added on your overhead arm sweep as you took that skater, add that on this side. We're here for 6 more seconds. We're going to hold it down. You're just working through those skaters. In 3, hold it low. In 2, and on this next one, guys, hold it low in that squat. Shift your weight over into your right leg. Bend and extend that left leg. Keep it slow. If you know that that right hip has a tendency to creep out, use that exhale, especially with these heavier springs. That breath will help you on the hard part of that exercise, on that work. Team, 5 seconds. We're going to find that heavy squat hold in 3, 2, and 1. Find your heavy squat hold, recenter your weight. It's an alternating heel, lift and lower. Think about sitting back into your opposite heel as the other one lifts to keep that tension shifted back in the hamstrings and the glutes. Woo! Guys, 5 seconds. We've got that abduction through the left carriage leg. In 3, 2, and 1. Find that abduction. Out an inch and in an inch. Keep it teeny tiny. Keep your weight centered. 3 seconds. We pulse to finish. In 2 and 1. Hold it there. Pulse up an inch and down an inch. Advancement. You're going to reach and sweep those arms overhead. Keep your shoulders relaxed and down. You've got 5. Get a little bit lower for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw your carriage in. Amazing work, guys. Whew. We're really coming up to those final parts of class. Again, sorry for all this foot bar moving, but we're going to move that foot bar back up. Just getting into our long stretch from here before we have a little core finisher. And we're going to change those springs for the core finisher. So from here, getting into our long stretch, staying on that red spring. You're going to bring your hands shoulder distance apart on your foot bar and your feet are up against your shoulder blocks. Find a plank position here. Again, pressing up and out of your palms, rounding in your upper body. That neck is nice and long. Your eye gaze is just ahead of your bed. As you inhale, you're sliding the carriage out, switching your core on, so we're not dropping that belly or arching the lower back. Exhale to reset your shoulders over your wrists. And again, you're just hinging back from your shoulders. Eye gaze comes down towards your bed. Resetting with those shoulders over those wrists. Now, because we're on that slightly heavier spring in this long stretch, we're going to be biasing that upper body a little bit more. Sometimes we'll do this on a lighter spring, and you'll notice the focus then switches to your core. So this is a really fun one to play around with. If you would like to add on an extra challenge for your upper body team, as your shoulders reset over your wrists, find a press up. Lowering your chest down to your foot bar, drive up through your palms, and slide the carriage out. Now that is optional. You also have the option to lower down to your knees, keeping that long line in your spine in your modified plank. Find your press up before you lift and hop your knees and slide the carriage out again. Now you have the option as well in your press up to make this a little bit more chest bias. You can bring your hands further apart as you lower your chest down to the foot bar. To make this a little bit more tricep focused, your hands are closer together. As the shoulders stack over your wrists, you're rolling your elbows into your waistline as you press your chest down. Team, you've got 5 seconds. We're going to hold it back in that long stretch. Final time. In 3, 2, and 1. Hold it back, squeeze your glutes to protect that lower back. You've got 6. Beautiful. Can you slide it out 1 more inch for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw and park that carriage back in. And sit back into a child's pose, guys. Bring your hands to your foot bar. Sit back to your heels. And just enjoy that release through your shoulders. Amazing work, guys. Incredible news. We've made it to our finisher, and after that we get a little stretch out and you are free to go enjoy the rest of your day. So you've got 3 spring options for this final little core finisher. We're gonna be working into some reverse pikes. So your base option is 1 green spring. Intermediate is 1 yellow spring only. And if you would like to go advanced, it is no springs for this final part, if any of you dare. I'm not going to be doing no springs because, let's be honest, I'm talking at the same time and I'm already out of breath. So I'm going to be on 1 yellow spring for that intermediate option here for this final part of class. From here, you're going to face towards the back of your machine for our reverse pikes. Hands are coming to the outside edges of your carriage, like you're gripping onto a pizza box for a little bit extra support. My hands are about halfway down my bed. My toes are on that platform. Ankles are squeezed together, heels are lifted. Slide the carriage out. You're lifting and hovering your knees, press up and out of your palms. Slide that carriage out and find your full plank hold. From here, team, working into our pikes. Bringing your eye gaze down to your tippy toes, scooping up through your belly, pike your hips to the sky and draw that carriage in. Slowly rippling back out into your plank, eye gaze comes forward so that neck stays nice and long. And again, drawing that navel up, pressing up and out of your palms, keep your heels nice and lifted so your weight stays shifted up in those abdominals. Now, guys, you've got a couple options here. Keep going with that double leg pike if this is feeling good for you, if you're feeling nice and challenged. If you would like to add on, you've got 2 options. 1, you can elevate your toes on your foot bar to increase that challenge, to increase that range in your pike as well. Or if you'd like that super advanced option, this can be done with your toes on the platform or the foot bar. We're taking a single leg pike. Holding your right knee in towards your chest, eye gaze comes down to your left tippy toes, pike that carriage in, holding the right knee in the whole time. Extend that right leg long and take it over to the other side. Woo. Team, you have 6 more seconds before we're gonna hold our pike. Both toes are down. In 3, 2, and 1. Everybody hold their pike. Scoop up through your belly button, pike your hips up. Can you draw that carriage in 1 more inch for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, amazing work, guys. You have made it. Turn around to face the front and we are going to get into a little bit of a stretch to finish off this class. Absolutely incredible work. If you need to go, try and find some time later in your day to have a little bit of a stretch out. Facing towards the front, just finding your child's pose. Bring your hands to your foot bar. Now, option if you would like to come into your puppy pose. You can absolutely stay in this child's pose if you want. You can slide that carriage back, dropping your belly and dropping your chest heavy towards your springs, lifting your hips in line with your knees. You might want to make this a little bit more dynamic, switching between the 2. If you want to get a little bit of a lat stretch here, you're pressing down into your left palm. Bring your eye gaze underneath your right armpit. Ooh. Take it to the other side. Pressing down into your right palm. Eye gaze is underneath that left armpit. From here, we're going to find a little bit of a lunge stretch, guys. So step your right foot forward to your platform. Left knee is back. Sliding your carriage back, sitting down into your hip flexors. Just enjoy that nice release through your hips. From here, your opposite left hand is going to reach overhead, finding your lateral stretch. Really think about lengthening through the left side of your body from your left shoulder, grounding down into that left knee. Circling that arm around, finding your hamstring stretch on this side. Flex your right toes towards your face. Gently slide that carriage out. Now, if it's available to you, absolutely welcome to find your full splits. And just remembering in this stretching part, not to force anything. Everybody's range is going to be different. So just go where it feels right for you. Taking a few deep breaths just to soften into that stretch a little bit more when you're there. Finding that lunge stretch on the other side, team. Sit back into your hips. Finding your lateral stretch, right fingertips reach over the head, grounding down into that right knee. Circling that arm down and around and finding your hamstring stretch. Left leg lengthens, flex your left toes up and gently slide that carriage out. Amazing work, guys. You have made it to the end of that heavy spring flow. Absolutely incredible work, and I can't wait to see you soon. Bye.